Do any of you remember Megyn Kelly? She worked at Fox News and she decided to go independent for a while. Started her own YouTube channel. It was actually very popular. And the first video that she made was with a fellow reporter who worked at CNBC. And she had an entire interview with victims from Epstein. And apparently, there was a phone call from the palace with her producer telling her to drop the story. And there was a little bit of a confrontation there, and she got fired. And so Megyn Kelly wanted to talk about this. Now, take into account that this happened way before Epstein killed himself, right? So, like, while he was still alive, apparently someone was talking with victims, and it's possible that if it aired, a lot of innocent people may have been saved. But again, the palace called, right? Now, at the time, she didn't actually explain which palace, but people suspected that it may have been the British palace. And now, apparently, we are kind of certain that it was the British palace. But here's my question, though. If it turns out that Andrew is actually guilty, shouldn't there be an investigation to find out, like, who actually called? Like, I'm just saying, like, if you're part of the palace, was it Andrew or was it someone else? Like, isn't that interesting, right? Like, to actually figure out how cover-ups happen? Apparently not. Like, we're not going to be that lucky, but still, we have known for a couple of years now that Andrew has actually been disowned by the royals. And it's probably because they want to distance themselves, right? How long did they know? What exactly do they know? I don't think we're going to find out, but Thames Valley Police has arrested Andrew Windsor on suspicions of misconduct in public office. I do believe that this may have been why they withdrew the titles, because it would look really, really bad if the police actually arrest a member of the royal house while he still is considered by legal standing to be a royal. Now, this follows a series of claims that he allegedly shared official documents, including to the sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. I would point out that it's possible the investigation may be more than those files. Like, up until now, we don't know, so people are speculating, but yes, it could actually be to events not related into the files that were disclosed so far. Previously reported allegations included that he had shared reports from trade visits, forwarded a confidential briefing on investment in Afghanistan, and passed a treasury briefing to personal business contact. However, the specifics of this investigation or the arrest has not been made public yet. His royal status should have made no legal difference to how this case is assessed. Yeah, again, it doesn't really matter, like, should or shouldn't. The reality is, like, as far as I know, the British police rarely, if ever, would go after someone from the royal house, and the fact that he was stripped of his titles was pretty much the go-ahead. It's worth bearing in mind that his actual title was the UK Special Representative for International Trade and Investment, and the Department for Business and Trade has emphasized in guidance to the BBC that he was not operating under the rules that now apply to trade envoys. So basically, like, everyone is throwing him under the bus. Andrew has previously denied wrongdoing in relation to Epstein. He has not responded to the Bentley British Corporation request for comment or any of the specific allegations in relation to the release of the Epstein files in January. So now it's a police investigation. The Deputy Prime Minister Lammy has confirmed on Andrew's arrest, saying, as Justice Secretary and the Prime Minister has said, nobody in this country is above the law. Okay, when I hear that from a politician, especially after what happened in the United States and after you see, the protests in the UK with the two-tier care. No, I think, like, some people are above the law, especially when they cross the border illegally. But no, I mean, the hate speech law that was passed in Scotland, do you guys remember that? And then the Prime Minister of Scotland just literally goes in Parliament and he says like, too many white people. Like, did you see that? That guy, he's white. And that other guy, white. And this guy, white. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure like that is a perfect example of someone that happens to be above the law. So anyway, apparently it's a police investigation. It needs to happen in the usual way. He was speaking to the barely British corporation technology editor in the India AI Impact in Delhi. The king and the palace were not told about Andrew's arrest in advance, the BBC understands. Well, I mean, if they weren't be told in advance, like, would it be official? Or would it be like a phone that they would get in the middle of the night? And if they do get the phone in the middle of the night, would they admit it? Like, seriously, the BBC, like, sometimes you need to think about the headlines that you're writing, alright? I'm not saying they did get a phone, but, like, how would you find out if they did? Unless the Online Safety Act also applies to the royals and, you know, like, Keir Starmer actually happens to track their phone records. But apparently neither King Charles nor Buckingham Palace, allegedly, were informed in advance that the Prince of Windsor would be arrested. No, I think, like, they knew. And again, like, I think they knew because they stripped him of royal titles, right? So, why else would they do that? The king released a statement reacting to his brother's arrest a short while ago. It's worth noting that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has not been arrested for anything surrounding the Virginia Giuffre. What's led him to be arrested is information in the Epstein files, right? So they're making it absolutely clear that this is not something unrelated to the Epstein files. Although people don't know the specifics, there has been an assumption that part of this is going to be the sharing of the documents within the Epstein files between Andrew and Jeffrey himself. That's when Thames Valley Police got involved. See, this is what happened when Keir Starmer doesn't manage to keep the British public under control with his online safety bill. Like, had the online safety bill passed, you know, maybe Prince Andrew wouldn't have used the internet. Like, maybe he wouldn't have doxed himself, and maybe he wouldn't have talked to Epstein, and then all of this matter could have been resolved. But unfortunately for the United Kingdom, Keir Starmer wasn't Prime Minister yet. He couldn't pass the Safety Act in order to keep the prince safe, and so here we are. Yeah. Anyway, I'm actually curious if he's going to name drop some names. Or maybe he will say he went to those parties alone. Who knows? We'll see what happens, I guess. This is interesting anyway. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.